It's time we take back control of our own health care, including medications, procedures, tests, and doctor's appointments. My name is Vicki Capson. I became a nurse more than 40 years ago, and for the last 15 years, I've worked exclusively with seniors. So you can see by those numbers that I am one of you. My plea to you is to take control of your own health care. Because of Medicare, we don't always ask anymore, how much will it cost? And we tend to give the decisions about our care to doctors and nurses and clinics, even the receptionist at the front desk. Remember in The Wizard of Oz how Dorothy wanted to go home? The lion wanted courage, the scarecrow wanted a brain, and the tin man wanted a heart. They jumped through crazy hoops and did things just to get to the land of Oz to have their wishes granted by the great Dr. Oz. And what did they find when they got there? The great Oz was nothing more than a man, and they really had had the knowledge, the courage, and the heart, the ability to go home with them all the time. I'm afraid that this is how we look at doctors, as the great Oz, and we don't think we're smart enough to ask the right questions or to question at all. We don't have the courage to make our own decisions. We grew up in an era where doctors were revered and respected because of their knowledge and education. We didn't have the advantage of medical knowledge at our fingertips like the generations following us do. And so we are doing whatever we're told without questioning, even if the outcome is not what we want for our quality of life. Let me ask you a question. When you go to the doctor, get a prescription for a new medication, or have a test or procedure done, who is benefiting most, you or the doctor? Think about that. Doctors, drug companies, medical equipment businesses, they're all just that, businesses. We are their customers. But unlike other businesses, they tell us what we want and what we're going to get, partly because it's paid for by someone other than us. This practice is hurting you. How many of you have gone to the doctor with a problem, the great Dr. Oz, or nowadays it may even be the assistant of Oz, and they prescribe a medication? The medication may or may not help, but it causes another problem, so you go back. They give you another medication to help fix the problem caused by the first medication, and so on and so forth. Do you have any idea how many seniors are taking medications that are doing more harm than good? How many seniors are having procedures done that are only being done so the doctor won't get sued if he or she misses something, but the outcome doesn't help you at all? I'm going to tell you a personal story because it's way too common, and I've seen it happen over and over. My mother was actually a pretty healthy 95-year-old, but like a lot of older citizens, she was seeing a few different doctors for a few different problems. They all seemed to think that she could get better if only she would take one more pill or have one more test. She was getting more and more disoriented. She was sleeping all the time. She was dying. My sisters and I decided to put her on hospice. They looked over her medications and they discontinued most of them. She stopped going to the doctor, she stopped having tests, and guess what happened? She started to get better. Her mind cleared, she was happier and more content, more comfortable than she'd been for years. 6 months later, she graduated from hospice and had a couple of more good years. Was it a fluke? Maybe. Would this happen to everyone? Of course not. But I've seen it happen over and over again. Something happens and a person has the medications evaluated. They decide themselves what they want to take and how they want the rest of their life to go. And their health improves dramatically. I challenge you, I beg you, have the courage to make the decisions about your health care that will give you the life that you want. Don't be afraid to ask questions and then say no if it's not something you want. If the procedure or the test or the new medication won't lead you down the path you want to go. Ask what other options are there, and then have the courage to make the decision.